All right, in this next video, we are going to do garage door insulation. So we had this house built. We made a big mistake by not spending a little extra money getting the garage door insulated. In our case, the garage door faces the west side. So here in Texas, it's really hot. Your heat of the day is coming from the west where the sun is. We should have done this. So it is cold right now, or it's cooler because it's winter time. But what I want to do really right now is I'm going to do some testing before and after to see how much this insulation really changes the temperature in the garage. So I've got a thermometer that's on Wi-Fi out here. We're going to continually monitor the temperatures and compare it with the same temperature during the days and stuff like that, so we can get a true difference. How much different is the temperature in the garage before and after? This stuff's really supposed to cut down the noise in the garage as well. So, which we're in a quiet neighborhood, so that's not really an issue to me. For me, it's the coldness. I don't even mind the heat that much because I would much rather be hot than cold any day. But we're gonna do this test. We're gonna find out how much does this really change it. So, all right. So this is what I just picked up over at Lowe's. This is supposed to be 4.8 R is the insulation value on this one. I know there's some other insulation kits that go up to 8, 9 I've seen. Those kits are real fiberglass. I don't particularly like the way they look either. If you don't care about that, then that might be a better choice as far as getting more insulation. But for me, it needs to look good too. And these panels look really nice. They have a smooth side to them. This is the side that would go in towards the metal. You see it's perforated. That way you can bend it so that you can slide it in each of the panels. But the other side, which you can't see because of the way they packaged it, the other side is a smooth surface, so it's going to look nice in the garage door. And these are very light too. I mean, literally just a few fingers you pick it up. So it shouldn't really hurt your garage door opener from being able to lift the garage door. So I've heard on some of these kits, they make the garage door so heavy the garage door opener doesn't want to work anymore. Well, these things are so light, I don't see that this being really an issue. In fact, I've seen some of the comments on the fiberglass insulated kits. I've seen some of the comments say that the garage door opener doesn't want to pull the garage door up anymore because they added enough weight. So I've just seen the comments of that. I don't know. I've not experienced it myself, but these are super light. But for me, it's more the appearance, as long as we get some functionality out of them. So we're going to do some testing for several days here, and then we're going to come back. We're going to show you the install, and then we'll be able to get some after data to see how much the temperatures actually this time of year have stayed up with the added insulation on the doors. So we'll be back here in a couple of days once we get some data, and we'll talk to you more then. See you soon. The way I did this test is I made sure the garage was closed for at least 3 hours so that there's time, for it to adjust if there has, after the door has been opened or closed. So we try to be in common situations, and that is you're going to have your door going up. Anyway, so we're going to get started now with opening these panels up, getting them cut, getting them installed in the door, and then during the next week or two, we're going to continue to monitor the temperatures inside and out to see, did these panels make any difference? If so, how much difference did it make? So we're going to get started opening these up and installing them, and we will catch up with you in just a few minutes. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get a measurement. We're going to get a measurement from up underneath this lip down inside the other lip. So we've got 20 1/2 inches. So we know our height needs to be 20 1/2 for this one. We're going to measure each one just to make sure that each of these is the same. We got 20 1/2 there, 20 1/2, and 20 1/2. So we're good with our 20 1/2. So we know each of these panels is 20 1/2 high. Now we're going to get the width of each. So we got 45 3/4. $45 3/4, 45 3/4, and 45 3/4. So we want to make sure each of those is the same. So we know now we're going to write this down so that we know what our measurements need to be. But anyway, so now we've got all the measurements made. Now what we're going to do is we're going to sit down. We're going to get us these panels marked out, and then we're going to cut them. And after we cut them, then what we're going to do is install them. All right, so something else I just learned is these are only 20 1/4 across. Yeah, it measures about 20 1/2. But anyway, so they're pretty close to right on the money. Even at 20 1/4, we got that big lip at the top and the bottom, so we got no problems. All right, so we've got the first one marked at our 45 3/4. Now I'm going to get our straight edge in here. We're going to get our knife. Cut it, snap it.
Well, that's your marker.
And now, so these, you'll see have the perforations in them. That allows it to be bent slightly so that you can make the install.
So all four of those are the same?
We have 8 that are the same.
Okay.
All right, there's the first panel. Those do look nice. Okay, so we're going to continue with our process here, and then we'll get back with you as we get more of these completed. All right, so my main helper here just had a question, and I know that most of you watching are going to know this, but he asked me, he's like, so how do you know 45 3/4? What is that on a tape measure? So the first thing that I asked him is, so we just started at 4, and I said, well, count how many of those little places those little lines that we have. And we counted.
16.
Can you say it louder?
16.
Very good, 16. So if you have one mark, you have how much? 1 16th.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you look at the big line,
Is that half of?
there you go. That helps you know that that's 1/2 inch. Okay?
So 5, 6.
The next bigger lines help you know that that is each quarter. You got it.
Would that be 7 and...
That'd be 6 and
Oh.
1, 2.
3/4.
You got it. There we go. Now we know how to read a tape. We'll be back. All right, just to give you an update on where we're at. We have now got one section complete, and then on the other side we have half of that section complete. Basically, one thing that I've been doing is coming and pulling this back out so it's flush. Looks a little nicer. I'm no scientist, but I would think that having a little air gap in there would be better than pushing it all the way to the metal. I don't know. If someone out there is an expert in this, please comment below so that we all know. But I'm doing it more than anything because it looks nicer. So I'm pulling it out a little bit. While I'm doing that, what I'm using is I'm using one of these plastic squeegees, grabbing the edge and just kind of pulling it out just a little bit just to get it flush. I've been doing that while he's been over here marking now that he knows how to measure. He's been getting all my measurements done. I'm 100% trusting him, and he's been 100% accurate so far. And then I'm coming back over, cutting it, and installing it, repeat process. So catch back up with you here in a few minutes once we get this thing all installed. All right, for this very last panel, we're gonna keep you with us. I'll just fast forward it, but so you can see the whole process. I want to do this on the last one so you can see all the steps of the process, and then, but I'll do it in fast forward so you don't have to be bored with it. All right, so there we have it. It is done. I think it looks very nice, definitely nicer than before it was done. It seems to feel much nicer in here now. Maybe it's because we're working, building heat. Maybe it's because we've had the heater on. I don't know, but so far, it seems to make a big difference. I can tell you to the touch, when you touch that metal before we put these panels in, it's quite cold. These panels, warm. So maybe that radiation even makes a big difference. I don't know. But it's going to be interesting over the next 10 days or so. I'm going to continue to run temperature tests, see what the difference is. We'll get you final results and some final thoughts on this project. These kits, I don't remember if I said earlier in the video, they're 95 bucks each at Lowe's. It takes 2 kits for a 2-car garage door. Each kit's made for 1 single car garage. So 2 kits, and it took us just 50 minutes from start to finish. That would be measuring, cutting, installing, even some times here where we've had the video going and not stuff. So anyway, project's complete. Get back with you in about a week to 10 days, and we'll let you know what we come up with on the temperatures. All right, I'm back with some final information on this garage door insulation. So what we had was approximately 10 to 20 degree difference between the outside temperature and the inside of the garage. And that's before insulation. When we added insulation, it cut it by 2 to 3 degrees. And that would be after about a 5-hour period. Of course, the longer you go, the more time it has to cool, so the temperature is going to close on that. But that's approximately average about 5 hours of the garage door being closed. So it doesn't sound like a lot, 2 to 3 degrees, in most cases. But you know, when you put the math to it, it was somewhere between 15 and 20%, which again, that number sounds like a lot more difference than saying 2 to 3 degrees. But when you put, you know, the math to it, and it's, you know, nearly 20% in some cases, that's a pretty big difference. Now, one thing I did notice also is it would take longer to warm back up too, like on a cold day. So it starts getting warmer outside. It would keep the cold in the garage longer. So it probably keeps the temperature a little more stable, but that's something to think about, that it's keeping it cooler longer. So would I do it again for $200? Yeah, I would, because it does make the garage feel more comfortable. Even that 2 to 3 degrees and not having that radiation coming off of that cold metal feels like a lot more than 2 to 3 degrees. So yeah, I would do it again. But if I was really to do it all over again, I would have put the insulated garage door in here and, you know, spent the extra money to do that. So anyway, that's it for this time. I hope this was somewhat helpful to you. The process is super simple, not terribly expensive. I think it's worth a couple $100, but don't expect like a massive improvement by adding it. So just be reasonable with your expectations of it, and I think you'll be happy with it. So anyway, we will catch you next time here on Dad's Garage.